Good evening. It's Tuesday, January 31st. Time for our news. I'm Constantino Tsindas. President Anastasiadis has told United Nations emissary on Cyprus, Espen Barth, that he will neither negotiate any conditions nor accept any conditions raised by Turkish officials in his negotiations for a Cyprus solution. Informed sources said that Anastasiadis raised during a meeting with Ida the issue of demands by Turkey that the 4 European freedoms enjoyed by European citizens be applied to all Turkish nationals in Cyprus following a Cyprus settlement. He told Ida that he will never accept to accord these freedoms, that is freedom of movement, residence, trade and occupation, to Turkish citizens. The sources further added that Anastasiadis told Ida that Turkish officials constantly raise new demands. The issue of the Turkish demands about the 4 freedoms was today discussed by negotiator Andreas Mavrogiannis in meetings he had in Brussels with EU officials. Anastasiadis was also reported to have taken exception to statements made by Ida that the Geneva conference is a 5-party conference, whereas the initial statement said that anyone who wished to be a party could take part in the conference. It was pointed out that the European Union took part in the conference as an interested party. Following the meeting with the president, Ida said that tomorrow's meeting between Anastasiadis and Turkish Cypriot leader Mustafa Akinci would be crucial for further developments of the Cyprus problem. Ida added that the two leaders are expected to agree on their next moves in their quest for an agreement ending the division of Cyprus. Ida also had a meeting with Akinci discussing procedural issues in the negotiations. He recalled that under the Geneva Conference agreement, there will be a parallel discussion in Cyprus of all pending issues. Replying to a question whether this is the time to start a give-and-take stage in the negotiations, Ida said that this is perhaps not far away, adding that it will lead to a win-win situation for the two sides. Ida dismissed suggestions that there are currently difficulties in convening again the Geneva Conference on Cyprus. He added that it was decided at Geneva to reconvene the conference when the time is ripe, and this is something to be agreed upon between the two leaders and the other participants. Ida noted that the aim of the next conference on Cyprus would be to wrap up the issue. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras has said that Greece will stand firm on its position that there would be no deviations from its basic principles in the Cyprus negotiations, but added that it will not avoid entering discussion into contentious issues. He added that Greece stands by Cyprus in its search for a just solution based on UN resolutions and on Cyprus's status as a member state of the EU. Tsipras noted that the outdated system of guarantees set up in 1960 is an anachronism and should be terminated, and at the same time the Turkish occupation troops must withdraw from Cyprus. This, he added, would be in the interest of both Greek and Turkish Cypriots. The Greek armed forces were reported to be on a state of alert today to face any possible violation of Greece's sovereignty by Turkey, ahead of tomorrow's confrontation 21 years ago over the Emir Islets in the East Aegean. Turkish media claimed there had been an incident today after 2 Greek warships entered what it called Turkish territorial waters near Emir and left when a Turkish ship approached. There was no confirmation of the incident by Greece. Our Athens correspondent said tomorrow's anniversary is considered as a critical time, as Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan is stirring up nationalism in his bid to win nationalist voters ahead of a referendum that would make him an all-powerful executive president. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras said in an interview that Greece remains committed to peace and cooperation with neighboring countries, but at the same time will not accept violation of its sovereignty. The Chief of Staff of the Greek Armed Forces, Admiral Evangelos Apostolakis, has said that the Navy, Air Force and the Army are ready to meet any provocative action in the area of Emir. Turkey's Justice Minister Bekir Bozdağ has said that Greece's refusal to extradite 8 officers who defected to Greece after the July failed coup will damage relations between the two countries. He said that Turkey had sent a new demand to Greece for the extradition of the 8 officers after the top court in Athens said they could not be extradited because they would face torture and humiliation. The soldiers appeared before a Greek court yesterday to challenge an order extending their custody by 3 months, but they were ordered to remain in custody for their own security. Bozdağ also said that Turkey will demand from the German Chancellor during an upcoming visit the extradition of 40 Turkish army officers who were serving at NATO installations in Europe. They applied for asylum in Germany, but Bojdak demanded that they should be returned to Turkey without delay. The House of Commons today started a debate on a bill empowering the government to activate Article 50 of the EU Convention for Britain's exit from the EU. The bill would give the government the right to start negotiations with the European Union on the terms of the Brexit. The debate is expected to continue until February 8, when a vote will be taken. Opponents of Brexit have already tabled 5 amendments which aim at killing the bill. One of the amendments calls for the cancellation of the debate unless the future participation of Britain in the European unified market is safeguarded. Analysts, however, have said that the amendments are not expected to pass. And finally, US President Donald Trump fired the Provisional Attorney General Sally Yates after she took the extraordinarily rare step of defying the White House and refused to defend new travel restrictions targeting 7 Muslim-majority nations. Yates said late last night that the Justice Department would not defend the order against court challenges, saying that she did not believe it would be consistent with the solemn obligation of her post to always seek justice and stand for what is right. Hours later, she was fired by the White House, which said Yates has betrayed the Department of Justice by refusing to enforce a legal order designed to protect the citizens of the United States and portrayed her actions as political. The White House said that Dana Bente, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, was sworn in to replace Yates as acting U.S. Attorney General until Sessions is approved. That's it for our news. Now look at the weather. Mostly fine tomorrow with a cloud cover at times. Winds will be moderate northwesterly to northeasterly, force 4, over slight to moderate seas. Temperatures will reach 11 degrees Celsius inland and in coastal regions, and 3 over the mountains where frost is expected. It will be mostly sunny over the next 3 days, although cloud will develop at times over some areas. Temperatures are expected to rise on Thursday. The depth of snow on Mount Olympus is 70 centimeters, with 60 in Truro Square. That's it from us. Join us again tomorrow for more news in English. Have a very good evening.